What's up, BlisstOut community? A little bit of music to get us started. Vancouver community, Toronto, India, everywhere who's watching. Whether you're watching it today, you're watching it 10 years from now, you're going to enjoy this moment. Let's feel it. A little bit of music. Nice harmonica. That song is Follow the Sun. It's by Xavier Rudd. Oh my God, this guy just accidentally became a part of my week. And I've already messaged him to be a part of the network. So I'm so excited if he does and when he does. But today is even more magical. I got an amazing person. First of all, I grew up in a family with her. Her name is Nicole Marie Campbell. She is right on the other side of this camera joining us today. She's an inspirational human being to my life. It's changed my life only just by being my sister, but what she's doing in her community and how she's growing. We're so excited to have you here today, Nicole.
Thank you, Leanne. It's been a pleasure working with you guys. I really appreciate your crew and everyone out there in BC. I was blessed to have you out there too, I bet. And I miss you, of course, but that's what Soul Sisters can do, right? We can reconvene and set a new future tone. So this is great. Thank you.
Well, I definitely feel that whole thing about the Soul Sisters because as I've gone on this journey with meditation and awakening and ascension, who would have known all these years later that we actually would be looking at each other in a soulful way? You know, even though when we were kids we were, but like as we ascend and how we can feel ourselves, how we can feel vibration, and then how we can really not only create that family outside of our family, but have that within our family is such a blessing.
And in these times of transformation too is that vibrational frequency changing our body and our cellular body. So the reading that I was listening to yesterday and what I believe is happening every night to me now is the cellular form is transforming to hold the energy of the new earth. And, you know, as you said, 25 years ago when I started reading esoterically, I didn't think that, oh, the planet Earth was going to really go through a transformation. I just read and enjoyed the reading and I was in the right light. And I brought myself to that light. So I think you're right. If we witnessed each other as the light, we get to transmute, and transmutation can be happening at any time, right?
So good. And what I'm excited about is to share a little bit with our viewers today too. And anybody, if you do see this after today, and if you see it in the future after the event, the content is going to be full of the growth and the legacy of everybody that I spend time with. And the power of this now is that the wisdom and the growth that Nicole will have to share with you about where she's growing, it's just going to be so beautiful to watch her flower more and more and more because she is aware of her presence. So tell us a little about how your journey with life has brought you to this healing workshop training.
Well, for me, because I have been on the pathway from self-destruction to self-love, I have been involved in many aspects of myself on subtle levels, but more secretively, I feel, learning and dialoguing internally and then externally with myself in the survival mode. Since 13, not having my home being secured, I had more of a life on the streets, and so did my twin soul flame partner. So it really has helped me understand, you know, the level of compassion future clients of mine or people on their journeys, their self-love journeys will need a ministering to. So I believe my journey will reflect that in those details, and that's why it's in the details for me that my story isn't a bad thing. My story, my suffering is actually my emancipation and my purpose on the planet. So definitely I think I always knew that. And it's reflecting in my writing, and then the mandalas that I create through intuition, and the coursing that I'd like to take with Mother Earth, the inspiration recently to do hiking and Mother Earth ceremonies and to help people bond with Mother Nature. So
Yeah, hearing all that and knowing some things about you, what I'm more excited about is that more people are going to feel what I've been seeing. And as you're evolving in your mastery, it's just so wonderful to be a part of this. So why designing artiste.com? So tell us a little bit about this. How'd that all evolve?
well, I have a very long list of mental health things that I have accomplished to understand my soul journey. And a lot of people might think mental health isn't a spiritual thing. And I can definitely contest that it is, that seeing the other side since birth, seeing the spirit world since I was born, knowing that I was seeing it, seeing what I did through drug abuse, when I see the darknesses on people, being a seer and a knower, it takes a certain spiritual training, which is through your own personal journey. So when I work on a painting or I work to the idea of helping a business, even on my business side, I'm always seeing that there's a spiritual growth. And I make sure to share that with others around me so that they will find time for spirit in their life and understand what they truly are made of. So that's kind of like on a personal level, the most fulfilling part, getting through the trauma and the three-dimensional drama that, is very prevalent. So little bit by bit, each little step can, get more adept and understand that it's completely natural to go through all of life and to feel and experience and to gain wisdom and knowledge.
Well, what I'm feeling and what I know, and also what I think the viewers are probably going to want to understand is, what you've come through is a lot up to the age that you are. So the
Yeah, I
wisdom that,
didn't. Yeah.
like there's everybody's carrying a story and everybody's carrying a gift. And what I can say is I've watched over the years, and I've been that reception. And then what I'm seeing is evolving right now for you, and I really feel it. I feel that integration. I feel that confidence. You're owning your power and you're empowered,
Right.
by owning your voice and owning your story and owning your place and accepting your growth. And then also you're allowing the abundance to come in. Even showing up here in the network is offering an opportunity to work with you, from childhood trauma to street life. That's a huge thing, and street life, I know, is not the easiest thing even to shake for anybody in one life, 100 years,
Oh, I
so
find it such a blessing now, though. Like I think of that, and I think about, because during COVID, there's so many studies been done on the ghettos of third world nations, which I humbly feel my heart goes out to. And my Buddha heart, it will always be with that each soul is a sentient being, and each soul has the right to understand its presence and to be clean and to have a bath and to have food and to have the knowledge. But I, being super intelligent in so many categories, I was always pushing against what people wanted me to learn, and then isolating myself. So isolation became normal. But when I found temple life, or I went to Buddhist temple or participated in music scenes or did things artistically, I also found vibration, right? And vibrational awareness through the mind body. And so when we clean up our act in the addiction run at the 12-year mark, we really only have so many more steps to take. It's really the last lap of a beautiful journey. And so you keep unfolding what is really necessary for me, and you see how simple it could be to maybe help anybody get there and be able to know themselves and to be clean and to be wise. So yeah, very
I
humble.
like how, I just like how you mentioned about the intelligence level that you always had,
Yeah.
that inner genius awareness. But
Yeah.
then because people were trying to teach you something outside of what that was teaching you,
Yeah.
that made you go in and that made you go away from things. And that is such an important thing for anybody that's on the path right now who's watching this. This does happen because the first voice, the inner guidance that's within you, has that
Mm.
sound. And that's the most beautiful awareness of finding that voice and the inner genius. And then all of what the world is so conditioned in to telling you how to think.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then you're
Yeah.
young and you're going through, I had this awakening at a young age, you
Yeah.
know, you had your trauma at a very young age too, which, you know, kind of put even more resistance towards people because of that trauma. And then the rebellion, because who fucking understands you, you know,
Yeah.
who really understood you was you on a journey, you know. And now the beauty of all of this self-acceptance, this self-love, the healing workshop training is the full integration process. And I'm so happy that I can be a part of reflecting that with you and encourage you and be encouraged by you, because you've arrived in such a new way. And I'm really excited for people that can work with you now, because
Well, I
what
want to
you,
offer that. Like, so when I'm offering in business,
yeah.
because obviously I just started training mindfulness trainer certification too, but that'll take a couple of years. But when I'm offering it in business, I'm saying, you know, the soul of your business, the return on your investment, the projection of the reality is in the happiness you're going to share, because that evokes the healing. That's the base of mindfulness, is your happiness invokes somebody else's ability to come out of their hurt. Little by little, it helps chip away at, you know, and that's the presence, even online presence. So, but with the painting, when I do intuitive painting, and I don't plan my painting, I don't sit and sketch, pre-sketch, nothing. I take a couple of details down, and then I see the canvas, and then I work with it with my energy in the universe, because I am completely in the channel of the universe. So if my mind is getting that sense of what needs to go where and going with it, it actually lets that intelligence gene grow. So our brain literally will grow all these different associations that entice and heal the trauma.
Mm,
So the work for me is healing me too,
mm.
right? It's always going to be healing.
Mm. Yeah, well, it's well, I love to see the action, right? So it's meditation in motion. So I'm same as what I'm doing in yoga, but I love it, and I want to know more about these juicy things that I got out here. So let's look into these questions, because there's so much you're doing, and there's so many wonderful things to talk about. You know
You're so
what?
sweet.
So what are some of the positive building methods you use and are working on to help build your pillars of your new business? So the building method, you got a lot of methods out there. I think there was 15 methods: mindful mandala, mindfulness therapy, genius code, diamond of the coal, and then law
Yeah,
of attraction, you know.
holotropic. The new one was the holotropic mandalas. Like, I just love mandalas. And the hiking idea, like just going for long hikes in Mother Earth, appreciation, hands around the tree. Like, we need to be tactile with one another in safe ways. We need to reestablish what safe boundaries are, with hugs and being loved and honored. And I think that that's been my week's end on lesson, is that sharing in the Western world sense. And then as well, I think writing from your truth on a daily basis, that is a very important part to make time for. Gratitude in a journal, or emotional cognition. So what emotions are really coming up for me today? How do I feel about myself on this journey? That will always empower you the more that you do emotional recognition for yourself. And then I think the big thing too is diet. I've lived more, and the more that the light sources are stronger and stronger within you, and you're switching over, I find the less that I really need a lot of food. And that goes different for everybody, but like whatever it is, like it, and just seeing that communities are going to grow, that you're kind of in your visualization that there's no COVID in my way, there's no diseases that are in my way now, because I found my way. And it's through that mindfulness breathing, through awakening, you know, the earth chakra within, and that unleashes your mind. And that's just like, wow. I always enjoy meditation, but now that I realize the breath work is like where the real work is, I'm going to enjoy it more, obviously. So,
Nice. Yeah, I heard you talking a little bit about, okay, so there was a law of attraction. Something you said in there was there was stating you were giving us such a gift of the law of attraction in there, and it just dropped my mind. But anyways, I appreciate that, because I feel that there's just so much in all of the areas that you're going to be able to expand on because you've done that work on yourself. And having the paintings available through your intuition for people to appreciate the story, the art. And those are available on tapestry too, right? You're thinking about doing some tapestries?
Yeah, sometimes I sell them on Tapestry, but for me, I would appreciate working one-on-one with clients. So now that I have a business format, I think as much as like I know what I need to get to like arrive at the place for Nicole Marie Campbell, I see like even in your groups and in different groups on the earth, I'm sure there's a lot of people that probably will benefit from their own mandalas being created too. That would be really cool to have like a mandala celebration of some sort where it could be expressed and done within a weekend, like a mandala workshop or something like that.
Yeah, I definitely love to collaborate with that too. So, yeah. So also the diamond in the coal. What's that all about? The diamond in the coal. You talked
Oh
about
yeah,
that.
because the diamond, we come into our diamond self and sales they use the diamond, the diamond. I would say any of the earth's beautiful stones. I mean, you could be the amethyst of your story too, and it would be just beautiful. I feel maybe through these hard pressed times, you get your success, and that beauty of continuing no matter your journey, right? So no matter how down and out it might seem, it really is that consistency. And then the beautiful gem that you are, or the beautiful gem maybe that you take away from today, whether it's, honoring another human life or helping yourself through a major diet shift or, taking time to really get to the things you love. Uh,
So
I think that,
one of the things that you were also talking about was, not having the fear of any of the diseases because of the awareness, the
no, I
beauty.
don't have the fear of the,
Yeah. So the beauty though of contrast, that's what came up was law of attraction was back in my head was
yeah,
with contrast. My greatest awareness, and I thought I'd highlight this because I'm sure you can put your little, 2 cents
for
on
sure.
this.
Yeah.
My greatest awareness in being in so much meditation was whatever shift I'm in and whatever I'm learning in the now, it's for my transformation. So even
Yeah.
when I get sick, it's good for me. And if
If
I
you
get
worded
sick,
it,
I'm obviously healing, but I'm moving something that I need to move out of my system and I need to grow in deeper. And so
yeah.
I thought that was an important thing because you're using so many methodologies for your art. And then I think I grabbed something there about the sickness. And then I remembered how much you used to listen to the Law of Attraction to in Abraham and how much gratitude I have for that work. And yeah, it's so nice to be able to reflect this with you here and now. Let's talk a little bit about your education and how you grew. So you have a little bit from your mental health, living on the streets, getting educated, getting, through a
I
lot
went
of,
to art school.
yeah. So where was that?
And then I still was the same person again. I still wanted to just learn what I wanted to learn and what pace I wanted to. So I did instead continuing education and more in the sense of developing with other artists. I got very lucky to, when I arrived in Southampton, Ontario, I met 10 to 12 different women that winter. And they taught me who I was by being and emerged with these 12 people who had spent their lives doing art.
Mm.
And they showed me by me just participating. Again, I think this is where I feel comfortable in education is like we all don't learn the same way.
Mhm.
And so when I developed my style, it was 2 years later and through COVID again. And it's kind of like my protege right now is Salvador Dali's protege. So he is the holder of Salvador Dali, and he is my mentor. So we talk, Louise and I talk, and I think when you get that mentorship at that level of that greatness that you aspire to, you start to realize that every step of your growth has been for a reason.
Mm.
And maybe it didn't come in that, grander university style experience, but I myself emerged myself. I made my company name. I've had a couple of shows, and now I'm very private about my life because I'm developing that, nurturing it, and it's a legacy. So meeting Salvador Dali's protege, it showed me, like, because he was with him right until the day he died, that I may be with him until the day he dies. So there's a continuity of life cycle, and having that brilliance around me, and that level of brilliance is really what I was looking for. So
Well, I guess that's one of your angels for sure, because I remember growing up as a kid and Salvador Dali was one of your favorites. So
yeah,
that's such a blessing.
so
That's definitely a
exciting.
blessing. So yeah, so these women helped you.
Yeah.
And they taught you. And then
Yeah.
you also have a lot about your styles and a lot of the intuitive work that you're doing. But then you have, a background with shamanism, Kabbalah, Tibetan Buddhism, Initiate Mystery School of the 144,000, and the esoteric teaching. So you think a lot of this has an effect on why you're more intuitive as an artist and what you have to offer people?
I think it's about the call of Mother Earth again. So I find, like, as I'm framing it in my mind to share it, I find that I'll sit and I just think, like, I think about the sound, and I think about the sound and the resonance of that community in Africa or in India or wherever it is, and that's the sound of Earth too. And what is our sound? And we're Canada. What is the sound of Earth here? And so I would do the native teachings as well, and then I found they brushed you off a bit because their native tongue has been decided to be, only between those who know. So it fascinates me. But Kabbalah I studied Kabbalah because 20 years ago when I looked into it, I was told women weren't supposed to be able to do Kabbalist life. And now I live a Kabbalist life. Exchange of energy, giving and receiving, and understanding the tree of life became very natural for me. So when I look at it, I feel like I can emerge into it. But I have been doing it for a very long time. So it does have a high frequency to it, the tree of life. But Tibetan Buddhism for me started in Japan, and that was Tina Turner's style that she chose, which was the Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. And those people, they really treated me the most humane that I could be treated. They treated me so sacredly, and I think that was, again, the healing path is trauma and love and unconditioned and coming home and safety. It was being found in those places, right? So the brain needs to understand that in order for the body to feel comfortable, so the body will heal. It's all been part of safety, I feel. So
Well, I want to thank you for that too. I mean, all the things that we went through as kids, and then a very big part of my journey of starting yoga at 15 just to lose weight was, Nicole told me one time, yoga's good for you. And I was like, oh, that yoga, whatever. And then I tried it. And then every morning at 4:00 in the morning, I was up doing that and cardio. And I went from a size 16 to a size 8.
yeah.
And it was, part of the conversation was with you. And then some other things, you had the gifts of the Hare Krishna community, and we had paintings and and that one painting of the Julan Yatra of Sri Radha and Krishna swinging in a tree, that changed my life literally. When I came out to BC, I was called into meditation. Oh, and also when we went to the Tibetan Buddhist temple, and we used to go to that bookstore.
And I totally remember that now.
Yeah. So but I will tell you, that day that I was called out to BC, a lot of the gratitude, I want the audience to know, I salute my sister, because those things that you were doing your best for who you were had such an impact on my life. And what I'm doing for the community, a lot of it is because of your blessing. So out there, you want to work with Nicole, because if you're working with me, she's the one that was behind me, my older sister. So you get so much more from our family and what we have to offer you.
Right. And again, like, I think that's the unfolding. So, like, allowing people to unfold completely in who they are.
Yeah.
And just being like, okay, like, it didn't and necessarily, I always say this when I'm in mindfulness class, I'm like, but it didn't come to me like an A-B journey. And I think I'm going to use that quote for a while, because I see it as this, like, connective journey where everything is interconnected. And so when you say law of attraction, I take it to another level and say, hey, where on my GPS am I? What lesson am I? I'm still emanating a little lack there. You know what? I have to be complete with that part of the journey now. I'm ready to shine here. You know, it's Monday now. It's designingartist.com. Right. So I think like letting go and realizing your worth, it happens in so many beautiful phases and stages. And whether it comes to you in one way or the other, we're all born innately to have worth. It's how we hold it and how we look at ourselves, what we're mirroring back and forth. So building a business is the same way. You're mirroring your business into your online business, especially if you have a shop or a boutique. And you know, you have to help people transform. Like you can't keep treating your customer here on the floor like this and think you're going to treat your customer here online like this. It's constantly like a juggling act you see becoming a solid business. So becoming a solid person, maybe like it's advantageous, but being solid and physical isn't natural for me.
And we do want to hear a little bit also about your e-commerce background too, because we did hear about your art training. We know that you've got your art training, but because this is going to be important as you're integrating all of these qualities, because you have all these diversities in what you have to offer people and how you're integrating as a business. So tell us a little bit about how this all went and your education on that.
Oh, okay. So like with digital, I was in an interview within the community, and I just said that I wanted to try digital analysis, and it's a science, data science. So I braved it, and I will be completing that this year as well. But before completion, I feel I'm entirely ready, and I took on clients. So I know how to analyze their data. I know how to look at where their loopholes are in their business from the front to back. I understand content development more than ever. I want to move into video work, so I'm going to be going into a company that directly deals with video only to do that. And that's how that part of this year will progress. And it is a big sell, but a lot of people, they don't know the jargon. In that sense, that world is ever changing too. So I basically need to schedule myself to have little bits of all of the stuff throughout the day in order to really do the whole me. Um, Creatively, digital works. It is a bit, in a way, people think a numbers game, and I think I would like to humanize it and make people realize it's really about how you're treating yourself, and your clientele is going to know that. So
Yeah.
that's what I've learned. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 100%. And even the vibration that we're thinking, like you said about law of attraction, example is, you got a goal in the morning, and what do you want to achieve? How much do you want to use of your energy every day? And it's okay to also relax, and then even in that flow state, when you put that intention out, you're going to attract it. I mean, I see that result every day, but I show up and I also ask for forgiveness when I can't give 100%, but it's amazing how people fill in gaps for me when I'm not 100%. They lift me up, and I think that's the positive momentum that you're carrying. I'm excited for you. I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for more art to come. I love watching. You were just recently posting some, was that at the place that you're working right now? You put some of your art there, or?
Yeah, I wanted to bring over another one of my babies, actually. Just 1 second.
Yeah, sure.
This is a style that came out of COVID that I really want to try master perfection, in the sense of its abstraction, but still I'm coming further and further off the canvas now. So you can see, this is on a minute level, but it's always birthing something too, right?
It's gorgeous. And on the wall, even when it's out in that store that you're at, it's wonderful. I commend you for being so strong and believing in your talent. I'm excited
Thank you.
I'm just so excited for any of the viewers that have a chance. We can make an offer for a consultation. Anybody who wants to have a time with Nicole Marie Campbell, add her on Facebook. On Instagram is Designing Artiste, I believe.
Yes.
There. And then her upcoming website will be artiste.com. With BlisstOut coming, she'll be in the marketplace in my website too. We're both in a great process, but showing up and sharing content and being regular is what keeps people loving the natural, vulnerable path. And we're all vulnerable. We're all showing up. And as an artist, I'm hoping that anybody watching this, if you've been on the streets, if you had dark times, I'm hoping that this lifts you to know success is right in front of me. Not only myself and my sister, but anybody who watches this, believe in yourself. You have the power to reach out to people like me and my sister, and to know that the light that we have and that we've learned will be able to bounce something off into your day. And we want to sign off with a little bit more music. Good to be with you today.
And Leanne, I had a question for you.
Oh, ask
I
it.
wanted to know, I really wanted to know, maybe if you could make some time for like even some video that would be around talk and have a couple of us all on at the same time and just share, philosophy talk, that kind of thing. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, lots is coming. And on that note, be ready for what is coming. I got my pen and paper out today. There's a video coming forward. There's actually books and a whole new library, from podcasts into books into building platforms.
Yay! That would be awesome. Yeah. I want to be there for that. That's awesome.
All of us are going to do it. And whatever I can do to serve, I just got to keep my motor skills. And bless you all. Bless you, Nicole. You're gorgeous.
Yes. Namaste, Leanne. I love you.
Wonderful. And a little bit more of the Follow the Sun, because song of the week, guys, creativity, music, and wellness.
It's all about that. Keep it real. Like folky. I think it's kind of folky. Follow the sun. Which way the wind blows. When this day is done.
I love you, Nicole.
Oh, I love.
Be well.